gotta reset some stuff.
Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily.
Okay. Let's just say it's been a hell of a morning. I hope you can hear me. I got to log in on my iPad. So I figured some things out. I figured my screen out a little bit. You'll notice a little bit of a difference. It should be clearer. Let me make sure I'm. Yeah, you can hear me. Okay. Microphone's good. Sound quality okay. Issue is that I went from recording in 4K to recording down to 1080p, and I had to redo my everything that you see. I had to redo. So, good morning, Ben. Hey, Bullish Bites. What's up? What's up? Chris, good morning. Good morning, Scott, Jacob. Steph, my heart is pounding. Jacob. And Ben's right. I mean, GDP data, great. Core PCE, great. Jobs data, great. SMCI, not great. No. I'll go over my thoughts. First thing I want to say is that I tried. I have tried the live portion that you're watching now. Okay. Remember, there's three different kind of versions that I put out there. The first is this live. I record it live. So I interact with you guys. I'm kind of low energy, but I'm live. The second is I actually hit the record button, and that's in the live. And then I hit the stop record, and I usually kind of banter and do whatever. Then the third is I upload to Spotify and to YouTube. I'm trying to volume. Why is my volume not working? But I upload to YouTube and to Spotify. And then that portion is what I was trying to do. The live portion, the reason that you can't rewind, and I found this out the hard way. In my old setup, I was using the iMac with the built-in webcam. So it didn't know that I had a webcam. Now I'm using the Insta360, so it tracks my head and you can see it and blah, blah, blah. That webcam, it's called a DVR function in YouTube Live. If you live stream gets very long, viewing on Apple TV, they can rewind it. There's a limitation. If you use a webcam, you can't use the DVR function. So the fact that YouTube has figured out that I have a webcam is the problem. So there might be an alternative. I might be able to use a external camera, like my DSLR, which is a Sony a6400, I think, through an Elgato uplink. I'm not super technical, so good morning, Jeremy. So I'm essentially going to try and do that kind of stuff. But I've got thoughts. I don't have a ton of notes, but I do have a ton of news articles. So we'll go over this. First off, I have to tell you, Affirm killed it. The second a company says that they're going to go cash flow or they're going to actually make profits soon, you saw that with DraftKings, shot up. Same thing with Affirm. I mean, it's up like 20% or something, but let's do some scans. The Trendspider sale is still going on if you want to get it for 4 days. Now, boy, they changed the layout around a little bit. So the standard's over on the right, but the advanced is on the left. Remember, the enhanced was below the cost of standard for the last 2 days. So for the next 4 days, enhanced is up $1 a month. It's marginal. You want the enhanced. If you're an experienced trader, get the enhanced. If you're not an experienced trader and you want the unlimited one-on-one training, you get the advanced. I'm sorry, the enhanced versus advanced. Ugh. And I think, yes, there's still monthly discounts if you want to just sign up month to month. But, come on. $295 a month versus, you're paying for 4 months. I'd rather pay for 4 months and get a year. But that's just me. It's just me. Let's do some scans. We want core investments first. Nothing in core. Do brokerage. Yesterday hurt, by the way. I need to bring up, if I don't bring it up, I'm going to bring it up right here. Apple is crazy right now. At $230. I don't know what the hell the deal is. I don't know why it shot up. But in pre-market, it's trading at $230. That alone is going to make me $40,000, $30,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. Energy, BTU. On the energy front, leverage DTFs, BTCZ, SDAO, and SARC. We're getting some short stuff. This is 2 times Bitcoin. I mean, that's, you're down 2% on that one in pre-market. Low-cost Vanguard, nothing there. Spider sectors. I want to go over spider sectors too. I don't think I have that in my notes. Because financials are just killing it. Let's look at the Dow. Salesforce did really well. I still think the cap is up there of 300, 310, somewhere in that neighborhood. EA and O'Reilly Auto Parts, S&P, Thermo Fisher, RTX and General Dynamics. Okay. We're going to go back to the strategy tester, and we'll go to the 4-hour. Did Apple get you out of the 4-hour? No, it never did. Huh. Never did. I mean, my assumption is that we're going for that gap at 233, but so QQQ, I said it yesterday. I think the Qs in particular, you're midway between this 450 and 500. Trading right at that 472. You know, you were at 475 when I kind of brought this up. And yesterday, you know, we had 2 down candles. I wouldn't expect this rally to hold. I wouldn't expect any kind of positive that you see to hold. And I'm bringing that up here, but, you know, I don't know what I'll say on the damn podcast. NTNX. Let's see. NTNX. You guys are like distracting me on. Oh, that's it. Ooh, Newtonix. I don't even know what Newtonix is. Nutanix. Let's see. Nutanix. It's a hold based on the revisions, and you have 7 up, 7 down. Let's see what the ratings. It just went into a hold, and it looks like the momentum. Let's see what Wall Street says, because they have enough people looking at it. 15 analysts, 7 strong buy. Wow. 41% upside. Oh, they're playing. If you see me look around, it's because I got this big ass 49-inch. If you haven't seen it, it's huge. It's just enormous. Steph, I am going into SMCI. I will tell you, you should lose hope. I don't have hope. When a short seller when a short seller comes out and says, "Hey, there's accounting errors," and then they delay a 10K. I mean, at this point, you know, I think I said it in the Facebook group. I'm playing with house money, and all, you know, I've got gains that are on the line, so I'm not playing with my own money. It's probably an unfair advantage. So sitting in doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of difference to me. If I were playing with house money, I probably, or not non-house money, meaning my own money, I'd probably get out and find a better place. Doesn't mean that for some reason they don't come out and go back to 1,000. But I can't imagine that they do. And if you're a member of Alpha Picks, they put out dip buying opportunity, and they went over Supermicro and Abercrombie and Finch. So they went over those. Those are the two. But I will go over it. I will go over it. Nutanix looks interesting. Nothing that I'll probably look at. But that gap, by the way, that gap, NTNX, that gap up there, as that 50-day starts to move up, that earnings gap, did they announce already? They announced. Let's see. Yeah, it's up 2%. That gap looks juicy. Between 63, it's at 62.76. 60. Oh wow, that's up 20%. Not 2%, 20%. Yeah, that gap. You're at the bottom of this gap. So that gap up to 72 looks super juicy. As my dentist said yesterday, that my mouth was juicy. Scott, I don't think it's rebuy Tuesday. Honest to God, I just, remember September and October are really weak. Well, September in particular. October tends to be pretty good on the Qs, but on SPY it turns out to be weak. Okay, let me open up some let's see. Bond investors aren't waiting for rate cuts. There's some interesting stuff. I didn't post this, but I will in the newsletter. Bitcoin seasonally for September and October. I'm sorry, August and September. It's just really, really weak. Affirm. I probably should go into Affirm. I probably should post a story about Affirm because they're up 24%. I'll probably just go over the chart. Yeah. I'll probably just go over the chart, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's probably best. HPQQ, DELL reports after the bell. CRM rallies really helps the Dow. All price targets got raised. Dan Niles' take on NVIDIA is just perfect. I like his take on this. I'm going to share a podcast with you about, it's really good. I listened to probably 5 minutes of it, and I liked listening to him. Okay, and let me just look up SMCI. I'll get an article so I can bring up SMCI. Okay, we put this in there. I'll copy this and we will go home, and then I'll open this up, and then we'll open up NASDAQ futures, and then jobless claims and GDP revision. Okay, I'm good. I think CrowdStrike, I probably should bring that up too. I mean, there was just so much yesterday. CrowdStrike did fine. And I think CrowdStrike gets back to 300, Tony. I think you get the rebound up, but I don't think it's right away. And I say that I think the stock is down a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, it's down 1% at 260. So when you take a look at this gap that it created here between 256, there's still a little gap there at 248, and you're trading at 260 right now. I would expect it to pull back there. I know you can hear that one. There is. But I would expect it to pull back there. Now, when it pulls back there, I'll probably be adding to it. And the reason I'll be adding to it is I do think that this one, they had a great discussion. Now, part of what I've read about it, and just full disclosure, I don't listen to these fucking earnings calls. I don't have time in my day to freaking listen to earnings calls. Earnings Hub has a fantastic, we can go to Earnings Hub, fresh to update Savvy Trader. There we go. I'll just go to Earnings Hub. Earnings Hub you can replay some of the stuff. Now, I don't subscribe to Earnings Hub. Some people may, but CrowdStrike, their live listen Q225 call, you can listen to it live. There was a discussion. I think it went on yesterday. I don't know why it's still live. Why is this still live? I guess there's something going on about it. They took down their guidance because they're going to be discounting. So that's why I say the stock price, in my mind, with that turnover, I think you're going to see a negative day today because I think people will be focusing on that. And I think those are the people that bought here at 200. There's a large amount of people, if we look at this, and you pull it back to where it's trading here, look at where that volume shelf is. It's right where it's trading now. You've got a gap up here between 285 and 300. I think you fill that gap. I think people were just spooked off by, I think the guy's name is George. But I read about it, how he mentioned we are going to be discounting for our customer base who went through that tough kind of time. So they're kind of calling out, hey, there's going to be guidance lower, but it's going to be temporary. We're just trying to compensate some folks. So I think that's the key, is that they're going to compensate for it. Okay. I don't want it that high. We'll do that. And then we're going to go, yeah, you got me tracking. Okay. And then it freaking puts me in the center. Screenshot. I don't know what to do. Overhead mode. Overhead mode's kind of cool. You could see down on my desk, but okay. Let's go to the Qs. I can guarantee I'm not going to get to something that I'm supposed to today. So, let's start recording. Good morning. It is August 29th. Thursday. It's the day after NVIDIA. What to say? The markets didn't crash. The markets didn't soar. I think in pre-market, we're up a little bit. The biggest move that I see is Apple is up 1.7%. Amazon's up 1% in the core portfolio. And those are the big ones. SMCI is down 3%. We'll go over that. We'll go over NVIDIA. What do you want to do with NVIDIA now? But we're over that. And I think that points out that, hey, things will go on in the market. We're going to, get through them, and we're going to make sure that our portfolios are hedged correctly. In days like yesterday where you hopefully you were down because the indexes were down. I think the Dow, again, started to break out a little bit, but we'll go over that. But today, good news. And again, good news is good news. The pre-market, we're up. GDP revised up. We'll go over the Qs thing. GDP revised up from 3%, 2.8 to 3%. That's really good. Remember, the Fed funds rates wants to be at about 4 to 5% because you've got 2% GDP and 2% inflation. That's the perfect rate for it. Anything under that is stimulative. Anything over that is restrictive. Now, jobless claims. Jobless claims went down as well. Again, good news is good news. I just tend to think seasonality is going to creep in. We've gotten through NVIDIA. We've got some additional earnings today. We got DELL. We can go to Earnings Hub and take a look. We've got DELL. We've got Marvell. We've got Lulu. We've got Ulta. You got MongoDB. You've got a bunch of earnings today that won't move the market like yesterday. You had NVIDIA. Today, the Dow is up because CrowdStrike killed it. So we can take a look at that. But you after today, it's a boring market. We're heading into Labor Day next week. Monday, we're off. I may do something paid for the paid subscribers, but we're off. So, and speaking of the vacation, Trendspider's on sale still. And you can get the enhanced platform for $54 a month. So as I go through these charts, you'll see Trendspider. If you like it, take advantage of the Labor Day promotion. Take advantage of the 3-day weekend. And what you can do is you can sign up for the advanced and get unlimited one-on-one training over the weekend. You can schedule unlimited training one-on-one over the weekend if you don't know technical trading. It's a fantastic, fantastic platform. We'll go over it. But good news is back to good news in the market. I just think that seasonality puts us in a place where we're not going to soar up. I'll go over NVIDIA, my thoughts on everything. The best thing about yesterday, this thing it explains it perfectly. NASDAQ futures fell. Wall Street's key volatility gates, the VIX, climbed late Wednesday. Okay, the VIX we talked about. As the VIX goes up, the market will go down. It's pulling back. Okay, it's pulling back. You can see it rose to 17. We're now at 15. So it's pulling back and the market is going up. 17 and 15 are nothing. When you look at 5 days, we're just back to normal. So I think, over 1 month, if we get the 1 month, you see that spike up to 60 and it come right back down. So the charts are the charts. They won't lie to you. Right now, the Qs are up 0.37. We're not soaring up. There is nothing that absolutely says, hey, go forward. NVIDIA was good. It was great. They guided up. What happened to the stock? It lost up to 8%. Right now, you're sitting at about a 3% loss. I will tell you, and I will lead this off. If you don't listen to anything here, if you buy NVIDIA under 120, I think that's a good long-term buy. I don't think it's a great long-term buy. I think it's a good long-term buy. I don't know if we're going to dip under 100 because I'm not a soothsayer. I can't see future, anything in the future. But what I can tell you is I think anything under 120, I think you'll be fine long-term. Do I think you're going up to 200 this year? No. It can't justify that. Remember, okay, so you're a $3 trillion market cap right now. That's where NVIDIA is, $3 trillion. They can't double and go to 6 trillion. They are not worth that amount of market cap. So in my mind, I think you get up to 140 on pops. And I don't think that that's anytime soon. We'll go over that. But again, if you don't listen to anything in this podcast, that's the key feature. Do not load into NVIDIA. Okay, you can get XLK, which has like 20% NVIDIA. You can get an ETF. We'll go over that as well because D-Man brought up a great point, is protect yourself with some of the ETFs. During these times where you're at high volatility and you're at seasonal weakness, maybe add some ETFs so that you can be in the market and that you can sleep at night. We all have different risk tolerances. You all have to be responsible for yourself. SMCI taught us that. We'll go over that one. But again, we're back to good news is good news. We're over the hump of NVIDIA. They did what they said they would do. They blew it away. They raised quarter. Now, they also announced a $50 billion buyback. That's huge. It sounds amazing. They lost like $180 billion in market cap, $200 billion, somewhere in that neighborhood just today. So it's not that big of an issue when you're moving 5-10% in a day. So $50 billion buyback, yeah. If you're selling the stock, they may be the ones buying it. But I thought Dan Niles put it best, and we can take a look at Dan Niles real quick. Where did I put his thing? It's right here. Okay. Following NVIDIA's results today, I thought it might be worthwhile to re-examine the current AI landscape, both short-term and long-term. You can read through this. There's only 2 points, and he goes into it. In summary, I continue to expect the digestion phase to start over the next 6 months and a commensurate fall. I don't even know if I said that word right because my teeth are hurting. I'm in a little bit of pain from the whitening yesterday. As a reminder, Cisco stock had an intra-year decline of 26% in late 95, 38% in 97, and 37% in 98. If you're too young to remember this, Cisco during the late 90s was supposed to build the internet, just like NVIDIA is supposed to build AI. Okay? Cisco stock managed, it's still not back to where it traded to in 2000. We're in a different place. Okay? We're in a completely different place. NVIDIA actually has the earnings to justify the price today. You are paying for growth, but it has the earnings in order to justify the price today. That you're just paying for that growth. And again, if this growth isn't going 5 to 10 years in the future, that's where NVIDIA is going to just hit a wall. And it could go down. If they don't have the growth, it could go down. Remember, a $3 trillion market cap company isn't going to a $6 trillion market cap company. They're not going to release, they're not going to devalue shareholders and release a ton of new stock, and it's going to bring it down. It's not. They're not. This valuation makes sense right here. I think 140 is the top. I think you may get there on pops, but don't load in expecting that. It's just too big. But If your horizon is 3 to 5 years, I think what Dan is saying is you could absolutely justify the growth in this company. But don't expect it to get to a $6 trillion market cap. It's not going to get there. At some point in time, Microsoft, Amazon, or Google are going to pull back spending. They are. So just understand that it is a stock that you should have in your portfolio. You should have in your ETFs. You should have all of that. But understand this is a stock that you shouldn't get all in. Now, for the Alpha Picks members, we're going to go into SMCI, dip buying opportunity. This article right there for Alpha Picks members, if you're not subscribed to Alpha Picks and you want to read this, it's the third link right here, okay? If you want to beat the S&P, SMCI is one of their big winners, yes. But when you look at the Alpha Picks portfolio, it's 114% return versus 38% in the S&P. And so that's what you're really banking on. Yes, they looked at this. They looked at both SMCI and Abercrombie and Finch. Just spoiler, they still stand behind them. I'm not sure they should stand behind it. This is where I might get a little bit contrarian to Alpha Picks. I am still holding. Let me make this perfectly clear. I am holding SMCI with 100% gains, meaning that the positions that I'm in now, if they go to zero, I didn't lose any of my actual money that I put into the stock. Okay? That's important because me saying that I'm holding is different than many people who are holding at a loss right now. And so what Supermicro did, that after the short report from Hindenburg Research, they delayed a 10K filing, a financial filing, which has immediate and just questions about it. There's a bunch of people out there saying, hey, I've just lost hope in this. I'm getting out. So you're seeing additional selling pressure on this. Now, you're also seeing some folks on Wall Street bring their price targets down. But Alpha Picks addressed it. They said, hey, let's wait for the filing. They have a 12 noon, their management is speaking today at a conference at 12 noon. You can bet there's going to be questions about this. Now, I can foresee it right now. They ain't going to answer any questions. You know, the allegations in the short report that came out are the exact same thing in a short report in 2018. Now, the stock hadn't run up 1,000%. Okay, that's why you're seeing SMCI pull back. SMCI has a lot of room that it can go down. It's not imperviable to actually going down. I think you might, if you remember when we started really buying this, it was when it was trading below 300 and there was a gap between 300 and 350. And I said, that seems juicy. And so I started buying at that point. Okay. I also said that up here, it looked like it was trading sideways. The valuation, and this is what Alpha Picks brings up, the valuation makes sense. But if they're falsifying financial records, the valuation does not make sense. Let me be clear. The valuation doesn't make sense if they are falsifying records. And that's what they're accused of doing. So if you are nervous, this could easily come down to $200. It could easily come back down to $30. It could easily come back down there. There is no room for actual fraud in this stock. It will come down. If they are found to actually have fraud, it will come down and be absolutely worthless. So understand, I'm in a different set than you are. You have to make your own decisions. I'm not trying to scare you out of this because the valuation currently makes sense. They haven't commented. All they did was delay the financial filing. But at that point, every eye is on them. And if there's even 1 decimal point error, they're going to get dinged. And it's going to be up in court. And there's going to be a bunch of questions. And they might get delisted. They might have charges brought against them. Who knows? But NVIDIA's results are positive readouts. This is another article. NVIDIA results offer positive readouts for Dell, Supermicro, HP Enterprises. We'll talk about HP. How does Dell work after this? But I want you to be aware that, yes, SMCI is as bad as everybody says it is until we have some type of news on it. I'm not pulling out because, again, even if it goes to zero, I actually pulled out all of my initial capital. So that's the problem. If you want to sell out, there is nothing wrong with selling out and moving to something that's a little bit safer. Don't think that we're going back to 1,000. No, don't think that, because this will take a long time for investors to actually put some type of confidence in this. Now, Wall Street still has an $865. They've been bringing it down. The revisions here, this is why revisions are big. 8 people have brought their earnings per share up, 7 down. This was 0 up until like yesterday. So there's a lot of people bringing revisions down. There's a lot of people ganging up on this stock. Now, biggest movers of the day. We'll go over this. CRM. I said CRM had an opportunity, and they took it and they ran with it. They blew it away. They blew it away. Now, where are you right now? You're trading in pre-market at 271. That is all the way up here, 271. Okay? 271 gets you above the 200-day. That's confirmation. Do you want to buy it? I do think that you have a cap here. If you're okay holding it at 271 for a 300 and then selling at 300, that's your cap. Okay, until we get over this 311 and use that as support, that is your cap. But again, they blew it away. They guided higher. Everything was good. Affirm Holdings. We talked about how in Affirm, their expectation was down. When you looked at Affirm and their expectation, they were expected to lose 14 cents. Expected to lose 51 cents. And last time they lost 45 cents. This time, they only lost 14 cents. They beat it by 72%. And they said they're going to actually be cash flow positive at some point soon. If you remember DraftKings back in January, that's what they said. They doubled their stock at that point. Affirm is up 22%. Let me see. It's up to 18%. It's up 22% in pre-market. It is up 22% in pre-market right now. I said I wasn't sure about this one because it was on a 30% run already. You are now trading live here in pre-market at $38. That brings you up here, okay, where the AFRM is. $38. That puts this gap between 42 and 45 in focus. That gap right there is in focus. And again, they will be positive soon. That's a big winner. NVIDIA's stock price fell nearly 7% after hours. It's down. Let's see, where is NVIDIA? We'll go over those earnings. They were good. I mean, there was nothing wrong with this. I will point out, if you get under 120, I think you could buy it. But shares are currently down 1.5% despite surpassing expectations with 122% year-over-year increase in revenue and the announcement of a $50 billion share buyback. The company's Q3 outlook initially dampened investors' enthusiasm. Projected Q3 revenue to reach $32.5 billion with a ±2 variance, falling short of consensus of $31.7 billion. I don't know how that gets short, but again, with the ±2, that I guess gets you short. Anticipates GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins to be 74% and 75% with a 50% deviation. Again, everything was really good with NVIDIA, but those are the biggest movers. Now, if you own chips, I listened to the first 5 minutes of this podcast. I'm going to listen to the rest of it. It is a really good one. I liked it. This is Gavin. I will include this in the newsletter. The newsletter is the 5th link down here. It is Daily Stock Pick newsletter. It is free. Okay, during the week, you pay nothing for this. I include all the charts, everything that I go over on the podcast. It is free. So sign up. On the weekend, yes, I do charge on the weekend. That's just a way to support me and thank me for my great work that I do for all you guys. But again, that's fine. If you own NVIDIA, if you own AMD, any of the chips, Qualcomm, you want to do it, just look at that. Now, we went over Dan Niles. We're gonna go over NVIDIA earnings. They beat and raised. It wasn't good enough, but it's recovered. I said in the Facebook group, anything under 120 is fine. I wouldn't expect it to go to 200 anytime soon, but I think it's clear they will be growing slower, and the street will be getting better at estimates. They will be growing slower. That's the key point. Is if you're a $500 billion company, okay, you can grow to $1 trillion. If you're growing your revenues by 130, 140, 200%, they were blowing it out of the water. They can't do that as they get bigger. It's just virtually impossible without them taking over, printing money from the Fed. So I think Dan Niles' take is great on this. I think you buy the dips on this one, but I don't think that you load up on it. I think you keep it this isn't Apple. They don't have headphones. They don't have wearables. They're not growing their, services revenue. There's a cap on this one. And we talk about Apple not growing their revenue year over year, but they buy back so much stock because they're printing cash. And again, a $50 billion buyback is nothing to blink at, but Apple's buying hundreds of billions of dollars of stock. So again, their market cap's coming down. And NVIDIA right now is growing their market cap, and it just can't grow that space. NVIDIA results offer positive readouts for Dell, Supermicro, HP Enterprises. I mean, it's just offering a positive spin. It tells you we're in an AI market. I say it all the time. It's an AI and GLP-1 market. The only caveat that I have is seasonally, we have a very weak seasonal time coming up in September. And you see this all the time. I pointed this out yesterday, that we see these upticks and then you see a pullback and we see an uptick and we see a pullback. What did we see? We saw a pullback after mid-July. We saw a pullback into August. Then you had people freak out over Japan. Okay, and we got to those lows. Then what did we have? We had a nice 10% pullback or a rebound afterwards. Let's take a look. I mean, if you go the low here at 429, you go the high there, that was an 11% upside. And if you don't think that we have some type of, capitulation and pulling back, the Bollinger Bands are expanding. Right now, the NASDAQ is up 0.44. We just opened up. It does look like they're buying into this rally. If you look at a 5-minute chart and we turn on the after hours at non-regular time. So here you can see we opened. This was at 4 o'clock. You opened up trading and you kind of came up. We're in a bullish stretch in the 5-minute. I would expect a cooling off. Don't expect it to continue to go up, the whole time. It will come back down. You can see right here, it just looks like we're showing weakness. So am I adding to this? Am I selling into this? No, I'm doing nothing. I'm staying patient. That's what I would argue that most people should do. We've got Dell coming up. You got SMCI at noontime. You had HPE come out with earnings. So, again, masterful performance. NVIDIA's results show the AI train is still chugging. You can invest in Broadcom. You can invest in ARM. You can invest in AMD, Taiwan Semi. All of these are stocks that, again, continue to move higher. So I like it. I like it a lot. Now let's talk about some of the moves. If we go over here, what I wanted to point out is your market data in Seeking Alpha, okay? Take a look at U.S. equity sectors. I wanted to point out how year to date, technology was dominating. And all of a sudden, financials are up 19% year to date. All of a sudden, communication services are up 19%. All of a sudden, industrials are up 13%. What's lagging? Consumer discretionary, XLY. What's lagging? Energy, up 7%. What's lagging? Real estate, up 8%. But when you look at 1 month, okay, real estate, up 6%. Consumer discretionary, still lagging in the near term. 1 month, utilities, up 5%. Okay, these sectors that were beaten down are now starting to lead. And year to date, they're starting. So at some point in time, I think people realize, hey, technology, it's still the leader Because when you look at 1 year, technology's up to 29%. When you look at 1 year, financials are up 31%. And if you look at XLF and you just take a look, what's the number one? It's Berkshire Hathaway. What's number two? It's JP Morgan. Then you got Visa, MasterCard, Bank of America. Okay, there's 74 names in this. If we look at DPST, which is the leveraged ETF on regional banks, this is the bull. This one has been going nuts. Again, you had this crazy from June to July. That's 82%. And then it got you out. It got you out with a nice 32% gain on that one, but that was after a huge downturn. That was during that Japan kind of wind down, and it reset itself. And so it gets you in here at 86. You're up 18, 20% in 14 days. In 14 days. Again, financials. Financials are going crazy. So I want to make sure that people know, hey, there are other opportunities other than tech. I am a large cap tech investor. So when I move you towards these things and I move you out, find other opportunities. And we'll go and look at ways to do that with ETFs, because D-Man had a great suggestion on that one. HPQ. Okay, yesterday HPQ came out with their earnings. They were good. It's interesting as they identified PCs as a slowdown. And this one got hit. 2% down. 2% down. Now it's rebounded. I think this was around 31 in pre-market. But it bodes, again, DELL, be warned. There are headwinds for DELL. DELL's AI server builds for 2024 slashed amid shipment delays. DELL is getting slashed. And Morgan Stanley said in the past day it has learned about a downward revision to DELL AI server builds. What's DELL doing? It's down 0.74. They announced after today. The firm maintained its overweight rating on DELL, but lowered the price target from 142 to 136. Where is DELL trading right now? Let's take a look at this, because this may set up nicely into earnings. I don't know if it does. Now, the algorithm makes you 225% over 24 and a half months. Your average win is 9.73. Right now, you're sitting on about a 20% gain. This is very similar to a firm. Your Bollinger Bands have cinched up. They're contracting. Your RSI, your RSI is at 55. Your MACD's right on the oscillator. You could flip a coin on this. Literally flip a coin. I'm in this at about 113. It's trading at 111. So I am in it. I am not in it big, but I am in it. So again, I like this one. I think the valuation makes sense. If we go and we look at the quant on this one, it's a buy. The valuation isn't nuts. The profitability, their margins got dinged on the server business. I think SMCI saying that their margins got dinged, it's already priced into this stock. So if for some reason the margins don't get dinged, this one could shoot up. Again, I think you should have some exposure to this one, but buying it before earnings is kind of crazy when you've had a 20% return in 17 days. If it were me and I bought it at 92, I'd probably be taking some profits right now at 20%. Doesn't mean that you're not going to come up here on, I think this is crazy. I think that 169 was nuts. I should have been smarter in selling it, but it should have been, could have been. It is what it is. I still hold it. So, bond investors aren't waiting for rate cuts as they pile into fixed income. There's a couple of good bond plays in here. We talked about, some of the other ones. I think it was, let me see if I go back to Tuesday. It was an interesting one. I forget. It was a bond fund that I saw over the weekend or something. Let me see if it was on Monday. TMF. TMF is the bond fund. We can say, look at this one. This is a triple levered 20-year treasury. 3 times levered treasury, which has been going nuts. Turned over, kind of coming down, kind of relaxing. Again, this is the problem with a daily leverage 3 times share is that you can't sit there and hold it and expect it to continue to go up forever. But that's 16%. If you trade this on the algorithm, you lose 8%. So it's not great, but again, that's 2 years. And so you go back 2 years, where were you? You were in 2022, where we started the escalation. Of course, this is going to be down. You lost 49% if you just bought this and then held it. It's a decaying asset. It's not one that you want to hold. But that 50-day, and when you look at this weekly, it looks like it's starting to turn. And we've got a lot of volume interest in this now. Again, make sure that you're looking at this stuff because you could find some gems. Some gems. I like it. Bitcoin seasonality. And we're going to try and do this. Bitcoin. Let's see. Bitcoin, what did they use? Let me see. I'm looking at what they used on their chart. Bitstamp. They used Bitstamp US dollar. Let me see if Bitstamp. Let's see. Bitstamp versus let's see. I don't even know how to do the tilde damn thing. But I tell you what, I'll put this in the newsletter. The seasonality of Bitcoin is not good for August and September. Now, I loaded into IBIT. I loaded into MicroStrategy. Now, IBIT has been holding up pretty well. Not bad. I mean, 5 days, it's down 5.2%. Not happy. 1 month, it's down 12%. I think Bitcoin under $50,000 or $60,000. I think you start buying this and MicroStrategy. Now, Bitcoin's back over 60,000. It's up 1.87% today. But I'll include that one as I do like this chart that Trendspider posted about the seasonality of Bitcoin. It's a little tough. D-Man, Gary, something to bring up tomorrow is something that doesn't get brought up a lot in the market, and that's the foundation in your portfolio. Good ETF I've been adding to gives you a good mix if you want something outside the U.S. with a mixture of holdings. Pick your one favorite on your locations, ACWX, KF, EWY, or find one that has low cost and good holdings. International holdings have been something more and more big money has been looking into. I really like Samsung, and a mixture of healthcare and the holdings in the ETF are similar to bangers. I picked 2 specific ones in holdings. Pick your reasons. I wrote back, yeah, D-Man, great suggestion. I'll do some ETF screening. If you want an ETF, you can do an ETF screener right here. ETF, this uses the quant rating to get you an ETF that they think has momentum, has movement. Global X, MSCI, Argentina. This is the top-ranked quant ETF right now. Now, I'd tell you, assets under management, $310 million. It's not huge. It's not huge. It's a strong buy in the quant. Momentum, A+. When you look at this, 1 month return, 10%. 6 month return, 27%. You look at the expenses, it's a C because it's 0.59. So again, the top ETF screener, you can do this. And what you can do is you can actually limit this if you go edit filters and you say, you can say what type you want. It leveraged. You can do leverage. You can do inverse. You can just do traditional stocks and bonds. Advanced filters, you can put in, let's see, do ratings, performance, trading, holdings, dividends, momentum. I thought you could do like which country you wanted, like just US and stuff like that. But there's an ETF screener here. Oh, here it is, the ETF screener. All top-rated ETFs, top allocation. You can do top-rated ETFs, okay? Let's just do top-rated ETFs. That's the Argentina one. Then you got the gold miners, which is Ring, GDX. But there's a ton of ETFs that they rate that are high. Say you don't know what you want, but you just want, top alternative commodities, international ETFs. This is the top international ETFs, ARGT. D-Man didn't bring that one up. EWM, EZA. This is South Africa. These are just international ETFs, building on companies. You hear about India all the time. You can say all ETFs. And then what you can do, NVDL is the top one because NVIDIA long. I mean, let's be honest. But if you just scroll assets under management, okay, that's a key component. Is you want to make sure that it's large enough that you could absolutely, invest in it. And we see VTI, which is the total stock market index. We see VOO. We see SPY. We see IVVV. We see VXUS, which is the top international stock fund. You see BND, which is the top Vanguard bond market. See QQQ. Assets under management is key. So you can use this screener in Seeking Alpha. There's also a great screener, just so you know, in Fidelity. If you have Fidelity, most of your brokerages will have it. Just make sure you check the expenses. Okay, you can use You can use the ETF screener in Fidelity, and then come over here and look at the expenses. If you can't see it, the expenses should be less than 0.1. Okay, anything more than 0.1 is a little bit suspect in my mind. In that, A, you don't have the assets under management, and B, they're taking a lot of money. I mean, you know, I talked about it before. Some of these ETFs that are in market data, like the XLK, when you take a look at their expenses, and it's 0.09, again, that's under 0.1, so I don't mind it. Now, if I had found an ETF that was bigger, I'd just go over to the top 10 holdings and I'd look at the top 3. We talked about yesterday about the GLP one. I thought it was expensive. Just buy Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. I thought it was a little bit expensive, but I think D-Man brings up a good point, is that, hey, your exposure outside of the U.S. could be a nice little buffer because the U.S. at some point does go down. Personally, I've never invested outside the U.S. because America, fuck yeah. In our Facebook group, Austin, hey, Gary, or anyone who's done their due diligence, can you help me understand what I'm missing with Micron? Bought in a couple of days ago when I thought, God, come on, stop moving. When I thought, it was discounted and everything from the analyst to target price points have it at a discount, yet it continues to drop rather consistently and somewhat dramatically. Should I just hold and wait for the climb to return? Is this a falling knife? Micron had a crazy run, and we can go and look at it, but it had a crazy run. When you look at the weekly chart, and what I wrote back to Austin was, I think maybe your time frame might be a little bit different, because your time frame should absolutely be long-term in Micron. And the reason is because it's just, you can't, but you bought it a couple of days ago. And if you're looking at a weekly chart and all of a sudden you're down after a couple of days, your timing is wrong. You want to look at it in a couple of weeks, not a couple of days. You want to add to it, dollar cost average your way in over a couple of weeks. If you're looking at a weekly chart, do not just decide on one day to load in $10,000 into this. Okay. You're looking at a weekly chart, take 2 weeks. Buy $5,000 this week, $5,000 next week. Or you can even be better, take 10 weeks, $1,000 every week for the next 10 weeks. And you dollar cost average your way in. Again, they have their earnings coming up in September 23rd, it looks like. So they've already had their earnings, and you can see what it's done since their earnings. It's come back to reality. Now, Micron in particular, I think this is the company that had some issues with their finances. You can see the valuation. They're not making money. So when you look at profitability, they're only getting 11% gross profit margin. That's a little bit of an issue. Again, that's a huge issue. When you look at their valuation and we look at the PEG, it's not there because they're not making money. But you can look at their growth. The growth is really good, 17% revenue year on year. When you look at their earnings per share, their levered free cash flow, they're not making levered free cash flow. That's the problem. So we want to take a look at if you like the company and you like the sector, because it is a strong buy in the quant. You can look at the revisions. It's B+, okay, because 27 are bringing it up, 1 down. 28 brought their revenue up, 1 down on that one. You can look at their profitability, you can look at their momentum. That's the problem, okay? 3-month performance, you're down 28%. When you look at a 3-month performance, 28%. So if you're looking long-term, then you can absolutely look long-term and say, hey, 3 months out, if I'm expected to lose 30%, I'm going to be upset. 6 months out, if I'm expected to lose money, I'm going to be upset. But when you buy it one day and it goes down, you better be looking at an appropriate time frame. And if I'm looking at Micron here, and I just bought a couple of days ago, the MACD is soft. The RSI is moving down. You could see a nice little rebound now. I would say anything under 100, I think you're good. Anything under 100 on this, I think you're good. I don't follow this name particularly, but I would look at this weekly chart, and I think I've said it before. And this $98.99 dollar price point, I don't know where I put. Oh, the reason was because this. Look at March 2021. It hit right there. Look at this January 2022. It hit right there. It pulled back. Now we've blown right through it. We haven't seemed to use it as support, but it's right in the middle of the current week candle, which is open. You opened at 100. Your high is 102. Your low is 92. So that 97, 96.66, that's right in the middle of this week's trading. Now your MACD, perfectly fine. It's down there. It's still going down. I would say there's still some softness in it, but I don't think long-term you have to worry about this, Austin. Honest to God, I think this one's fine. I think this could be like a firm where they announce, hey, we're making money now. And that's what happened on the last call, by the way. They said we should be cash flow positive. So you saw that run up. It was crazy. It ran up here from 100 to 157. Yeah, 157. That's a 50% move in just a few months. That was crazy. So I think you're okay in it. I think we use that as support. I think your $90 is the ultimate support. I think if you come down below than that, we've got a cyclical problem with some semis. And I think that's the problem. So scans, we got BTU, we've got BTCZ, which is a double leveraged Bitcoin. We have a couple of leveraged SDAO and SARK. We're not seeing a huge run up. Now, what I am seeing in the current market, Apple's at 230. That's crazy. Amazon at 172. That is perfectly fine. I'm seeing Costco is moving to 900. That's crazy with the valuation, but they're best in breed, and that's what you're paying for. Meta's up 1%. If you get this closer to 500, I think you load up on it. Unlike NVIDIA, I think Meta has the market cap to continue to grow. They print money. Remember, their margins are close to 70% as well. You got Microsoft up 2%. I think this one closer to 400 is perfectly fine. NVIDIA's at 123. Again, if you get it under 120, I think you'll be fine. PanW is up because CrowdStrike, they continue to see that CrowdStrike is soft. So PanW is up 3% on those great earnings. You're seeing Palantir up 3%. You're seeing Shopify up 1%. SMCI is up 2% now, up 2.71%. So it looks like it's found its bottom and it's moving up. Tesla's up 3%. Okay, so a lot of this stuff is moving up. What you're seeing is this step. Okay, you never go straight down. You always have. It's kind of like the candy jar. When there's no more red Jolly Ranchers left in the candy jar, so you're like, those green ones suck. The yellow ones suck. I want the red ones. Then you find a little one red one. You feel good. You go in there with the candy jar and you just dip your hand in. You take that red one out. And then all of a sudden you find out, oh shit, that was the last one. Okay, the candy jar's done. These keep giving you little Jolly Ranchers. The market keeps giving you these little things to keep you in. It's never a straight down. And when it is a straight down, there's a catalyst for that. You can't time catalysts. So what you've got to do is pick your battles. And for me on QQQ, with us trading at 475 right now, 474.68, we are right in the middle between 450 and 500. I do not see a catalyst that brings us up right now. I see some good numbers like GDP and stuff like that. I don't see it holding. It's 0.74. Right now, the trend in the short term would be down. It's not crazy down, but it is down. Until I start to see us moving more towards the 500s, then I'm kind of being a little conservative. And yes, I sold down here below the 450. But I'm waiting. I didn't see this move coming. That's a crazy, crazy rebound. But if you look at last year, we saw a crazy rebound there, and then you just started moving down. So I'm not willing to get faked out on this one. While the MACD is high, the RSI's in no man's land at 53. I'm just being patient. And remember, me being patient means that I've just got 5% out of the market. it doesn't mean that I'm all out. I'm 90% in the market. I just feel uncomfortable with this being out a little bit. So now I'm going to go look at the chat window on YouTube. Hopefully this worked out. I hope you have a great day. I hope DELL kills it. Tomorrow will be a recap. We will recap the core portfolio and see how they've been doing, how the core portfolio has been doing against all of the others. Remember, if you're interested this weekend in learning trading, technical trading, Trendspider has this great sale. Your standard is $53 a month. Your enhanced, which comes with so much more. I mean, think about 30 simultaneous drop bots versus 5, 90 max alert time versus 30, 100 simultaneous alerts. So say you've got 50 stocks that you want to keep a look at. You set an alert for a buy and a sell on all of them, and it comes to you via text. That's what I like. You can set it on price. You can set it on moving average. You can set it on a MACD. You can set it on a strategy like my 4-hour algorithm. That's what I have. When I'm looking at a stock, I set an alert for a buy and a sell. And the reason, and it lasts for 90 days. And it'll trigger me unlimited times during those 90 days. And after 90 days, I just reset it. I don't want to reset it every 30 days. For $1 more a month, give me the enhanced. Again, give me the enhanced. And you can variance test. That's a big one, the variance testing, if you didn't know, where you can take a daily and turn it into a 4-hour because it performs better. Again, Trendspider is not plug and play. There's a lot of work that goes into it, but the value comes with what you get out of it. You make smarter decisions, and it takes emotions out of it because ultimately, the only thing that matters in the market is not PE. It's not who's going to make money when. It's not, hey, NVIDIA's got this price target on it. It is the actual price that you pay for the stock. And what do charts tell you? The exact price you'll pay for the chart and the direction that it's likely to go. So learning this is again, it's priceless. It's priceless. When I started learning this, it was the game changer that I needed to manage my portfolio. So if you do want it, Trendspider is on sale. Labor Day promotion. What you do is you go over to my Linktree, linktr.ee/dailystockpick. You click the top link. It takes you to Trendspider. Then you come back to Linktree after you sign up and email me a screenshot of your account. I got to put you under so that with my watch lists and scanners, you get updates on those things. And so I got to make sure that you're under my program there so that you get the updates. So you stay updated. So even if you don't listen to the podcast, you can still track the watch list and the core portfolio and things of that sort in Trendspider. But again, you have to email me that screenshot. So that's the case. And we had a bunch of people sign up yesterday. I will get back to you, today. But we had a bunch of people sign up yesterday. Please continue to sign up if you're interested in this. If you're interested in one-on-one training, take advantage of this sale. It is expensive, so make sure you've got enough money and it makes sense for you. But the unlimited one-on-one training on the advanced tier is priceless. Unlimited one-on-one training. The reason they're offering that, I talked to Dan, the CEO of Trendspider, is because they want you to use the service. They want to teach you how to use the service. But with unlimited one-on-one training comes cost. And so you've got to pay for that cost. So I don't think it's that much more. It's like $300 more than the enhanced tier. So for $300, you're getting an unlimited one-on-one course for a year with pros at this software. So again, the time is coming up because you have a 3-day weekend this weekend. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Okay, take care. See you, bye. Okay, remuxing the recording. It remuxed the recording. Let me see how. Get info. I think this fucking thing's going to take forever. It is 999 megabits. Let's see. Let me put it into iMovie just in case this damn thing's going to take 4 hours to actually do. I think I was calm today, and the reason I was calm was because my teeth hurt so damn much. If you didn't know, I got my teeth whitened yesterday. I was sitting there for a week with trays. Okay. Please don't analyze the... Okay. Oh, sweet. I think I've gotten it down. Okay, the colorization is good. Analyzing audio, 5 minutes. Perfect. Sweet. Sweet. Oh, but you know what? I think I screwed up this part again. Hold on. Oh, no, I didn't. Sweet. Resetting my settings actually worked out well. Okay, there we go. And we're going to put that in. Green screen. Copy. Paste. 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 And then export file. Boom. 829 pod? Yeah. Pod save. Done. Okay, let me read your stuff now. Where is the damn mouse? There it is. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, Larry, 170 last April. That was the thing. Dell earnings today. Penny was barking. Good morning, Mark. My core portfolio is doing well. We can go and look at the core portfolio. Let's see. That's the trading portfolio. We're going to look at the core portfolio. And we'll expand it. Yeah, but remember, the core portfolio is nothing more than 100 shares. So the actual value of the portfolio is $1.3 million. It's up 43%. So it actually cost me $500,000 to build that portfolio. And when I say build, I mean I just bought 100 shares of, companies during the last year or so that have been killing it. And yeah, I'm up 30%. So, and SMCI is in there. I mean, make no mistake about it. Look at SMCI. Where is SMCI? Let's see. SMCI is... There it is. It's got a 45%, currently today, a 45% return. So it's not 100%, but it's 45%. So it's doing well. CrowdStrike took off after the bell. I think a lot of stuff took off after the bell. I think we see a pullback in the afternoon, to be honest with you. Wow, CrowdStrike really did. Wow. Poof. Somebody must have bought a ton. I was saying that gap. I think that gap up there, I think that gap's getting filled today at 300. God, that's an 8%. Whew. NVDL. Let's see how NVDL over the last day works in the 5-minute strategy. A plus setup. There it is. I should change that name. Got you in at 56. Got you in at 56. Wow. Last night it got you in at 56. That's pretty good. Again, I like the entry on this. I just don't like the exit. Yeah, sticking with your plan. I mean, that's always a good idea. Scott, I wouldn't be... I mean, I hate having you stay out of the market with, 50% like that. That's not great. But again, you've got to be able to sleep at night. And you're gaining 5%, yearly in your money market. So cash isn't a bad place to be. It's a bad place to be when you're going up. And right now the Qs are up 1.11. I'll check my portfolio. I know I'm way up. Let's see. I love Weeple, by the way. Yeah, I'm up 1.52, and the NASDAQ's up 1. But that's Apple. Well, what's Apple up? Let's see, 1.93. I mean, that's why I'm up so much. I got Microsoft, which is up 2%. Don't let anybody tell you that tech is like dead. It's not dead. It'll move sideways and it'll move down. And, you know, I had a good discussion, girlfriend, today. Should I get out of NVIDIA? It makes me feel uncomfortable. Yes. But where are you putting the money? And Scott, I would tell you to start buying a little bit. I would probably look at ETFs. I think you're in this mid-range with Qs. At 476, you're right in the mid-range between 450 and 500. And so putting a little bit in, not a bad idea at all. I just think that September we see some type of move downward. And the issue that I was having is maybe the jobs market gets worse, but the unemployment came in fine and they revised GDP. So I think you're seeing some glimpses of a great economy. And Scott, if your time frame is a year or two from now, then I would buy. Look at how white my teeth are. I look like a cartoon character. Mike and Ike's. Jacob, that's the problem is I don't think anything like everything that excites me has already run. And so I'm not, the 5% that I have probably should be in VOO or QQQ and just kind of let it ride. And I could take, some profits on some of the high flyers. Like Apple at 230 makes me want to trim, honestly. I mean, it makes me want to trim that stock as it gets up here towards the 235 mark. I mean, there's a gap up here to 233. What's the difference if I'm going to sell say 30, 40 shares of Apple? Say it's 50 shares of Apple, $3. It's $150. That's not much. Again, it gets me cash. It puts me in the position where if it goes higher, I can always buy it again. If the valuation makes sense, I do think that Apple in particular, I haven't sold anything. I should have been buying down here at 200. But Snow's up 4%. Yeah, but look at how far it's down. That's just software. That's because, CRM was so good. But this one, you want to talk about a tease. This one's a tease. My teeth are white. I should go here. I think you can. Oh. Hold on one second. We're going to go Insta360. Oh, hold on. There we go. Ooh. No, you don't want to see that. We're doing this live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Quote Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly. There's my teeth. And yes, they're real teeth. They're real teeth. They got whitened. They're super, super white. But yeah. And that's not a filter. There is no filter whatsoever. There's a ring light here and a ring light here. Nothing in front of me other than the monitor. But yeah. That's how white they are. Ooh, I like that. I can actually do that. And no Trendspider hat today because it's hot in here for some reason. And my teeth hurt so much that I didn't want something else on my head potentially giving me a headache. Scott, it's because it's not a managed portfolio. So remember, the core portfolio is just 100 stocks. So the reason it's 14% cash, it should be invested. 16% cash. It should absolutely be invested. But remember, it's just 100 shares of 35 names that I like. That's it. And so when I don't like it, I take it out. Like Boeing, the only reason Boeing's in there is because I think it's going to bounce at some point in time. The only reason Roblox is in there is because it trades between 35 and 45. I don't play Roblox. I don't do anything of that sort. Let's see. Lilly, Tesla's in there. I don't trade Tesla. That's down 21%. There's no way I would hold Tesla, past that. So I don't manage this portfolio. It is literally just 100 shares of the stocks that I like. And, I own Broadcom. Broadcom's not in there. I own DraftKings. DraftKings isn't in there. So that's why it's 16% is because when I was taking, I think it's the profits that I took from NVIDIA. And you can see if we view more, I got to go down there because it does pay a lot in dividends. And I don't reinvest the dividends. That's the other thing is you get a lot of dividends. Sold 900 shares for a 203% gain. Not, let's see. Let's see. What's 900 times 132?
It's 118,800.
Yeah, there you go. That's where the cash comes in because it's, about $118,000 on $1 million portfolio. So, yes, Mark, I can. I can drink. I couldn't drink coffee while I had the trays overnight, but right now I can't. And this sounds horrible, but even breathing hurts my teeth, and it's the sensitivity. It's not like my teeth are sore. It's not anything of that sort. It's the sensitivity. And in fact, it was funny because I was telling my dentist, and here, we'll do a little plug for the dentist. Tooth Architect. This is Shiva, and awesome. And you can see right there, this is the smile gallery. I'm going to be up there. I'll put it up. I'm sure she's going to put, because she said mine were the most drastic of, she takes those little things. So she had to pull out the denture white color instead of the real tooth white color, because mine were so white. So they took some pictures and stuff. I'll have my pictures up there at some point in time. She's awesome. If you're in the Atlanta area and you want a dentist, she's holistic. She's super, super healthy about her stuff. Even the chemicals that she uses are, she researches everything before she puts them on you. So I did tell her one thing that I would have told a patient, and she said, I didn't tell you because you're my friend, but and you know enough about this, but she told me, with the teeth whitening, when I got in the car and I turned on the air conditioner, I shot through the fucking roof. Oh my God, that pain was enormous. And then last night, just randomly, just horrible, horrible pain. But I haven't been able to eat ice cream. I can't drink cold water. I can only drink room temperature water. So, but she's just amazing. She really, really is. Just an incredibly, caring and just from a it's everything I've ever wanted in a dentist that I didn't know that I had. Just put it that way. She's really, really good. Oh, and look, the damn export's already done. And it is 10:15. So I am going to mosey on out of here. I hope to be back tomorrow with everything. Oh, I'm not gonna do the countdown. I'm gonna do the show exit. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Remember the Trendspider sale's there if you want it. I'm pretty good about getting back to you guys. So even if you reach out like just randomly or something, I'm pretty good about it. Let me know if you need anything. Okay. See you. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading